Good morning to everyone. Bonjour, buenos dias, bonjour. I have the pleasure to introduce this webinar organized by SCHINA. English is the common languages for all the people who decided to participate. So we are going to speak in English, but for the Italian assistant, for the French assistant, for the Spanish assistant, we are able to speak in Italian, I'm Italian, in Spanish, in French. So it's a pleasure for me to introduce everything, this presentation in English, but after that we can have direct talk in all the languages that you want. I'm Ernesto Caccavale. I have been working in Mediaset Group for many years, then director of Alibaba in starting in 2016, and then we decided to create this agency that is a team of partner agency with a partner of Alibaba what we do is to help international companies to put their products in the e-commerce platforms in China and to sell their products directly to the final consumer. This is our job, and this is what we do. And we are going to explain to everybody that going to China, selling your product in China is not so difficult as you can imagine. But we can start. No, we can start with the dimension of the market in China. That is very important to understand. Why it's so important to sell in China? Why it's so important for any international company to sell your product in China? Because China is the largest e-commerce market in the world, reaching $2 trillion. I repeat, $2 trillion means $2,000 billion only in the year 2022, and the same amount of money is in the 2023. So over half of total global e-commerce sales volume has sold in China. I repeat, all the total global e-commerce in the world, more than half of this global e-commerce in the world has been sold in China. And in China, the e-commerce market is more than 3/4 of the total retail sales. So we are talking about a huge amount of money, an enormous opportunity for all the international companies who decided to sell their product in China. And why I'm saying about international companies? Because the Chinese market, the international companies, the international brands are very appreciated from the Chinese consumers. And then we are going to see why it's so important. Okay, this is the e-commerce data, generally speaking, and as I told you, China is $2 trillion in 1.5 trillion in 2021 and $2 trillion in 2022. So you are seeing in this slide that if you sum up all the amount of money that you sell in all the retail market, e-commerce market, all over the world, means USA, Brazil, Europe, Russia, in Australia, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, all the companies, and if you sum up, you don't reach the 10, the most important, the 10 most important market, e-commerce market in the world, you don't reach the amount of money that you sell in the e-commerce market in China. We were talking about international brands. So what is important to see that already 11 million international brands are active brands in the e-commerce, in the Chinese e-commerce market. And in the Chinese e-commerce market, we are talking about 1 billion active consumers. You know that in China we have 1.4 billion inhabitants, and 1 billion people are active consumers in the e-commerce market in China. 120 million daily delivery. 120 million daily delivery. And the 98% of all the transactions in the e-commerce market in China are on mobile. Means that Chinese people don't buy with the computer. They buy with the mobile, with their mobile phone. So the opportunity is very big, it's huge. We are talking about 1 billion daily active consumers. We are talking about a mobile account, okay, everybody. But what is important is the last line that you can see in this slide. Means that, okay, the third one is, in China, there is a young population that 59% are younger than 39 years old. And this is very important also for the e-commerce market, because it's clear that young generations are more, they used to buy in the with the e-commerce in the e-commerce market. But the last point is so important, because we are talking about 500 million people who belongs to the middle class. Middle class, 500 million people. Middle class means we are talking about young couples with sons, with daughters. They both work and they both earn money, so they belong to the middle class. So it's this middle class that we are going to focus, and all international brands, all the international companies wants to sell their products to them, exactly in the same way we sell our products in Europe or in all over the countries in the world. 500 million people of middle class. So just to give you the dimension of the market in China, it's important to tell you that, for example, we have in China one day that is the most important day of the e-commerce in the world. Everybody knows what's the Friday. The Black Friday in the e-commerce, European e-commerce, the Black Friday European e-commerce, but nobody knows, few people knows that the most important day of e-commerce in the world is the Double 11. Double 11 means November 11. And in this Double 11, you have only one day in China, 84 billion US dollars of sales in China, and with the year-on-year growth of 20, 25, 26%. More than 1 billion products sold. This is only in one day, 11/11. the origin of this festival, we can say, of the e-commerce in China is single day. This is the origin of the word. And 1111, you understand why is single day, 1111. Because it was a word, it was a day to do, if you are single, if you don't have someone to care, you can buy. And this is the way why Chinese people decided to celebrate 1111. But the digital landscape in China is is totally different. But what is important to understand that Chinese people wants to buy in the e-commerce platform, wants to buy online. You saw why, and you saw in the dimension. You already saw the dimension of the market, but you have to understand that in China you don't have Facebook, you don't have Instagram, you don't have Google, you don't have WhatsApp, you don't have Twitter, you don't have all the communication channels that you have in Europe. So you have to use communication channels, communication platforms, communications way of the entertainment that we have in China. So this is the idea, general idea of what you can find in China. But just to give you an idea, a more specific idea, in the last line, you can see, for example, Shu. Shu means little red book, and little red book is something like the European Instagram, the international Instagram. WeChat is something like WhatsApp and Facebook together. Weibo is something that like Twitter now is X in the international world, but it's not. Nothing to say, nothing. No, it's not comparable with Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Something that is comparable with this kind of international channels is Douyin. Douyin is the international TikTok, and the international TikTok is Chinese. In China, the name is Douyin, and this kind of platform, this kind of communication channel now is becoming more and more an e-commerce platforms, and we use a lot in China Douyin. That means international TikTok. It's clear that you also have many other Chinese communication channels, and this is, we can say, vertical e-commerce platforms. Means that before we were talking about general e-commerce platforms, here you can see vertical for specific products, segment of the market that you can have in China. So I told you about I told you that it's not difficult to go to China. It's not difficult to go to China because China, because we have a very important agreement between European market and Chinese market. It's clear that this is, in this webinar, there are also assistants who are not European, but it's important to understand that what we can sell in China is the same product that we sell in Europe. There is a political agreement, there is an international agreement between European Union and the Chinese Republic. That means that we can sell the product with the same packaging and with the same etiquette that we sell in Europe. So this is the big advantage that we can offer to the international brands who decided to put their products in their in the e-commerce platforms in China. So this is the e-commerce, this is the cross-border model. This is the cross-border model. And this is the cross-border model, B2C solution. B2C solution means that we sell directly your product to the final consumer. This is the big advantage that we can to the final consumer in China. This is the big advantage that we can offer to the European companies, and not only European companies, but also we can say Mediterranean companies with headquarters in Europe who decided to sell their product directly to the final consumer in China. So the cross-border model is something that we can offer in an easy way. We open in an easy way because we are not going to change anything about the product that you sell in Europe. So it's clear that we have to start with the market analysis. It's clear that we have to start understanding what is happening in your segment of the market. It's clear that we have to understand if your product, there is something different in your product, there is something that we can offer the quality of your product, the particularity of your product. This is very important for the Chinese market. The best quality of our products at the better price. This is something that is fundamental to sell in China. So market analysis. We are going to see what are doing your competitors in China, why they are selling, how they are selling, at what price they are selling, which communication channels they are using to sell their product, which kind of marketing they are using to sell their products in China. These are the most important part of our analysis, and we should do that before starting. We are not going to invest money in China if we don't know exactly if that product of that brand is able to sell the product in China in a competitive way. So market analysis, first step, fundamental, understanding if it's possible to sell that product in a profitable way. Second step, marketing plan. It's clear that you can open a flagship store, you can sell your product to the final consumer if you are going to position your brand, if you are going to communicate to the Chinese people why they are going to sell their product, your product, why they are going to sell why they have to sell to buy your product. So marketing, so positioning, so branding. So we have to communicate to the final consumer. And this is the most important part of our job. Not only the analysis of the market, not only the importance to have the best product, a very good product, good and fit for the Chinese market, but also to communicate in the right way why your product is so good. So to communicate and to position the brand, to have marketing activities and to sell your product to the final consumer. Social media management. Because you have to think about we have 1 billion potential consumer, 1 billion people potential consumer, and we have to communicate to them. And to communicate to them, it's clear that we have to open not only a flagship store in the e-commerce platforms, but also account in the social media account in WeChat, Changgoshu, on Weibo, on Douyin. This is so important to communicate to the final consumer in China why your product is so good, why your product is different from the other product that you can sell in China. And you have to think that in China, this is the Chinese consumers now. This is not only, you are not thinking about people coming from the campaign. It's people coming from the prehistoric era. No, Chinese consumers in now is the most developed consumers in the world, the most challenging consumers in the world, the most we can say informed consumers in the world. So we are talking about a market very, very competitive. Nothing we have to think about the millennials, we have to think about business elite, but we have to think about middle class, generally speaking. And middle class, generally speaking, is people very well informed. Chinese people decided to buy your product, they buy a lot. They buy a lot in the e-commerce market. They are very interested in the international market. They are very interested in buying European products, but they want to be very informed. They want to know everything about you. So what we are doing is not only marketing activities. What we are doing is to sell your product, what we are going to do to sell your product is to give all the possible information to the final consumers about your product. Means the ingredients, means the benefits, means the origin of the products, means also the origin of the company, the origin of the family of the company. Chinese consumers wants to know everything about you. So customer-centric approach. In the China market, the brand who continues to take account of changing needs of consumers and ready to face the potential risks will stay ahead. This is something that is crucial. But just to give you some example of what we need to do in China, let me show something about the market analysis and the marketing plan. So here you can have an example of how we start working with an international brand. Market analysis and business plan. So to initiate the Chinese plan is we have to understand everything about you. We have to know your catalog. We have to know your prices, and we have to start from your best prices in your best products and your best prices. We need to have an exploration of the landscape towards the business plan, responding to the analysis, and it can be made. All the decisions can be made only if we know or if we have the full information in our hands. So we have the first step. Here you have the first step of our job: market analysis and business plan. This is an example, just to give you an example of. Okay, so. Starting from your, okay, let me, just a second. Okay, these are the main points that we are going to select when we start our job of market analysis and business plan. We have to understand if you have differentiated products with great added value. This is something that depends on the brand. It depends on the company who decided to go to China. And this is the first step. This is the starting point, a differentiated product. Then we have a great synchronization along launch phases. Average order, very high repetition. Viralization in social network and streamings. Highly engaging content creation. This is something that we need to see. And then when we are pretty sure that your products is okay, that we can start working in China, we have to start putting your product in the social media and the e-commerce platforms in China and we use the top streamers in China who decided to sell your product in live, directly to the final consumers. And you are able to buy your products in 2 clicks, only in 2 clicks. They sell your products directly to your mobile phone. And the final consumer is able to buy with 2 clicks. Everything is connected with your bank account. So I can select the product and I can pay with only 2 clicks. But it's clear that this way to communicate is a direct way, and it is important to have marketing investments. This is the point that we need to have when we open the flagship store and we are able to sell the product in China. But before that, it's clear that we need something. We need to do something more, because we need to understand that there are also this part of the job. The part of the job is the ideation of the store, the flagship store. We are in charge of the design of the store. We are in charge to put all the information in Chinese. We have a Chinese office. It's clear that 20 Chinese people works for us in China doing this job. The ideation, the design of the store in Chinese, the information in Chinese in e-commerce platforms, the marketing activities in Chinese, and the customer care in Chinese. Selling your product in China is not only to have marketing activities, but it's also to follow up all the customers who decided to enter your shop and to ask for information, to ask why they have to buy your product. They need more information. They want to have more information. And we need to have someone on the other side of the screen able to give you this information 24 hours a year, 24 hours a day, and 365 days every year. So this is something fundamental if you want to have success in China. And then when we are able to have design of the store, development of the store, information in Chinese information in the commerce platforms, people able to have customer care, we launch the product, we launch the store in the commerce platforms. Then we have brand management, then we have SKU registrations, then we have company setup, and the food category that you can imagine, the product profile, and the top streamers that I showed you before, but also viral social media. This is something very important to not only the top streamers, but also key opinion consumers who have your product in their hands and convinced their followers that is important to buy your product. And why Chinese people decide to buy a European product, an international product? Because Chinese consumers considers European products more effective, more secure, more controlled, and in many cases also more attractive. So buying European products for Chinese consumers is a guarantee of a product more safe, more secure, more controlled, and in many cases also more attractive. That's why we had to use viral social media to explain to all the people why it's so important, why it's so important to, why it's better to buy our products and why it's better to sell, to have this product in your hands. It's clear that step by step we are going to create a loyalty. We are going to create a community of the people who decided to buy your product. It's something that we are going to do in the second year. All the parts that you saw until now is all the work that we have to do in the first year. But in the second year and the third year, we are going to create loyalty. I think that it's important to see, for example, something that how we can start with a business management, with a business plan, just the idea, an example of a business plan. So this is something that you can see in the first step. In this first step, we are going to start to study your market, and your market is to see exactly what's the dimension of your market, what's the tendencies of the market, what's the possibility to sell your product in your segment of the market. For example, this one is food supplements. No? Just an idea to give you, and all the categories that you have in your market, the GMV that you have in your market for all the categories that you have in China in e-commerce platforms. And it's clear that we have to see the ingredients, we have to see the concepts, we have to see the packaging. This is so important to understand if you can sell your product or not in China. And then the comparison between the products. Your products with all the products that you have in the market, also European products, American products, Chinese products, German products. The Chinese market is like the Champions League, like the World Cup. You have the best players playing these games in the world. So the competition is very high. So before starting, we have to study if your product is competitive or not with the other product of the market. Like this example. This is an example. What's about your price, about your category, about your ingredients, about your concepts, about your image as well. And these are all the examples that we can show you. It's clear that we are going to hide the sensible information, but just to give you an idea. So you can see Chinese competitors, you can see French competitors, you can see the American competitors like this one, you can see German competitors, Australian competitors, and we are going to study for any products all this one. Then the targets, the strategies, what's your final consumers, why they have to buy your product, who are going to buy your products. And this is some example of what we are able to do. But not only this one. We are also we are going to put this P&L. This is very important to understand because it's clear that any entrepreneur wants to know how much that he has to invest, how much money he has to invest, and how much money he's going to how much products he's going to sell in China. So at the end of our job, we are going to put this kind of proposal, of P&L proposal. And P&L proposal means to put the sales results, sales objectives at the first year, at the second year, at the third year, putting sales objectives, sales results at minimum at 3 years, we are able to give you an idea of the cost of the products, the cost of logistics, the cost of the commissions, and specifically the most important part of your investments are the marketing investments. This is an example in Spanish, but I'm going to sell you an example in English, if I find it. Okay. Okay, this is the example of the P&L, but also a cash flow proposal means that we are going to give you the idea of the investments of marketing for all for the first year. You know exactly how much you are going to invest month by month, monthly speaking, and these are the most important investments. We are talking about logistics. We are going to invest in commissions. But first of all, you are going to invest in marketing. This is the most important part of the investments. So, how is so important to understand why we have to find the right products, and the right products. We are going to find the right product, the hero products that fit the Chinese market. What's the right products for that historical moment for the demand in China? We are going to do in many cases, we are going to do a focus group. Focus group means that we are going to put our key opinion consumers, we are going to put the products in the hands of our key opinion consumers in China, and we are going to select which one are the most important, the product who has the most important possibilities to sell in China in this way before opening the store, before investing your money, before going all the expenses that we need to open the flagship store and to start all the activities in the social media channels. We are going to have to focus which are the most important products that we can sell in China. At the end of the year, we are not going all the products of your companies. We are going to select and to focus our energies and our money in the best one, in the hero products. That's why we are going to have this kind of focus group, with all the results that you can see at the end of this focus group, with the answers that we receive from the key opinion consumers. So I think that this is the most important part of our job. The preparation of all the activities that we have to do before starting is so important to have a good to have success in China. It's not only to invest your money. It's not only to have the best product, but to prepare in the best way what we need to do in China. This is so important if we want to have success in China. So I think that this is something that I think is enough to give you a general idea of what we are able to do in China. So I think that now is the moment to give the floor to our to the assistants, to the persons who decided to participate, and I'm here to answer to all the questions that you to answer to sorry to give to me.
Okay, hello. Thank you for the informative presentation. I would like to ask about the registration for the brand name in China. Would you help us with it, or how can we? Can you hear me now?
Yes, yeah. Now yes.
Okay, so I was thanking you for the informative webinar, and I was asking about the registration for the brand name in China. Would you help us with it, or do you have some requirements that we need to follow? Please, if you can.
It's a good question. A good question. It's clear that all the companies who decided to go to China and to sell their products in China, it's important to register your trademark in China. It's not enough to have worldwide registration. It's important to have the registration of your trademark, the trademark registration in China and Hong Kong. This is something that I always suggest to my clients, to all the companies who decide to go to China. We are able to give you this service. We are not to charge for that because our job is not the legal process, but we have our lawyers in China who are able to do that for you. If you are talking about the registration of your products, we have to tell you that with the cross-border model that I showed you before, you don't need to register your products in China, only to register your trademark in China. It's clear that if you want to export your product, and so if we need the importation of the product in China, we need to register the product as well. But with this model with this business model that you have already seen until now, you don't need to register your product in China because we are going to follow the European legislation. We are going to follow we follow the European legislation, the European rules. It's a cross-border model. You sell the product with the same packaging that you sell in. We are going to sell the product in China with the same packaging you sell the product in Europe. So one thing is the registration of the brand, the trademark registration. One different thing is the registration of the product. So we need the first one. Yes, we need the registration of the brand. We don't need the registration of the product in China if you sell cross-border. It's clear that I want to be clear and honest with you. If you want to sell a product like food products, food and beverage products, it's so difficult to sell this kind of products with cross-border. So it's much more. We suggest to use the Chinese market, so to import the product in China, so we need to register the product in China. So it depends on your product. If you want to sell cosmetic products, beauty products, and if you want to sell fashion products, you don't need to register the products. You can sell directly to the final consumer with cross-border model. If you want to sell food and beverage products, I would suggest to register the products and to import the products. For example, there's something that is going very well in China. There are food supplements products. Food supplements products we can sell this kind of products without registration of the products in China, because it's considered like pharmacy, parapharmacy, cosmetics segment of the market. So food supplements, we use cross-border model. Food and beverage products, it's better to use the importation, and so we need to register the product in China.
We have another question in the chat from Armando Literino. I'm sorry, but my microphone doesn't work. Dr. Caccavale, with the advent of artificial intelligence and emerging technologies, what opportunities do you think could emerge in the Chinese e-commerce landscape in the coming years?
It's clear that in China there is a revolution, a technological revolution. When I started working in China into 2015, what I learned in the first year is something that in Europe was not arrived yet. So it's clear that also artificial intelligence now is a very big opportunity also in China. What you saw, for example, for this kind of top streamings that you are seeing, if I can show again the presentation, just to no, just to give you a short example. Okay, this one, top streamers. Now we are starting. I don't know if it's the answer that our friend is expecting, but this kind of top streamings activity. Now we are starting doing this top streamings activity with artificial intelligence, not real top streamers, but also top streamers that are not artificial streamers, we can say. This is something that we are experimenting in China, and that is going very well. I know that it's not so human, because artificial streamers are not these people that you are seeing in these slides or these slides. But also now, artificial streamers are becoming artificial celebrities in China. So I don't know if this is the exactly answer that is wanted to know, but it's clear that China is the most challenging market in the world. So what is happening in China is something that we will see in 3, 4, 5 years in Europe. So what we see of what we know in Europe, in China has already happened 5 years ago or something, or before.
Okay, we have another question from Wild that says, thank you for this very important session. Just a question in order to be clear. Products sold in the European Union market do not need to be registered in China, but will this also apply to non-European producers? Non-European.
It depends on the products, and it depends on the situation. It's clear that I'm going to speak more about European products because it's clear that we have this political agreement between European Union and yeah, just to sorry for that. Okay, in China, but we have some different clients not coming from Europe. So we are talking about, for example, the south coast of Mediterranean. We have some clients and companies on the south coast of Mediterranean, also in Latin America. The situation of Latin America is very similar of the south coast of Mediterranean. They are not in the same situation of European companies, but we are able to find the right solution also for this kind of companies. Not European companies, but with the possibility to have an office in Europe, a headquarters in Europe, a branch in Europe. In some cases, we are able to help and to work with companies not European, like the south coast of Mediterranean or Latin American companies, and to find the right solution also for them. It depends on the products, it depends on the segment of the market. And I would suggest to this kind of to our friends to contact me after this webinar and to give me more information, more detailed information about their specific company, their specific products, to give them the right solution.
Right. He's from Lebanon.
Same situation, Lebanon or South Korea. This is the east coast of Mediterranean, Lebanon. So Lebanon, like Tunisia or Morocco or Latin America. We have many companies now from many clients from Mexico, from Colombia, from Argentina, from Brazil. And it's clear that they don't have the same political agreement with China, but we are able to find the right solutions also for that.
So no more questions in the chat. Maybe you can open your microphones and ask directly to Mr. Caccavale. If you want to,
yeah, I think okay. So I want to thank all the persons who decided to participate today at this webinar. Thank you to Ascani to organize this webinar. I think that is a good way to start the collaboration. Not only thinking about something that is more common, like the communication and the business between the two coasts of the Mediterranean, north and south, and east, also east, like Lebanon. But there is a possibility to have a good business between Mediterranean products, Mediterranean companies, and Asia. Asia now, the axe of the world is going towards west, from west towards east. So I think my opinion is that it's fundamental for any companies to understand that putting their product in Asia and in particular in China. China is the most important market in the world now. It's not only important for what we are going to sell in China, but also for the image of the company, also for the intangible value to have a store opened in China is so important because this is something that we are able to learn day by day. Selling in China is something that is like an MBA. You are going to learn day by day what is happening in the world, in the e-commerce world. Staying in China, working in China and selling in China is something that is important for all your business all over. And our contacts are at your disposal to give you all the information that you need in your specific market. Please do not hesitate to contact us and to let us know which kind of products you have and if you want to go to China to sell your products there.